Welcome, everybody, to the book lunch for Caring for Souls. Thank you so much for coming out this afternoon and celebrating with us. And I'm just really excited. I'm a little bit nervous because I'm always doing book launches for other people, but this is one that's kind of coming out of my baby. So it's a little bit different. A little bit of the story behind Caring for Souls. It started out as actually going to be my book solo. And then the more I started going through and looking at my poetry and thinking about the theme of the book, I thought, I need to add more people besides myself to this book. I want to get some different experiences and different perspectives about caregiving and also being cared for. And so I opened this up into like a little competition. And I'm really happy that there were several people who entered. Probably about half of the people who entered were accepted for this book, and um, and I'm just so happy to finally see it come to come to life. And this is the book, um, and hopefully those who don't have it will be having it in their hands soon, maybe within about a week or so. So I'm really excited, and thank you all for coming out and for the people who participated in the book to who are coming today. Some people were not able to make it and expressed their regrets, but we are happy to have everyone here. I do want to introduce my husband, Hans Sonneveld. He's waving at you there, and my daughter Jody Nearing. It's really cool to have my family in something that I'm doing. So, and Jody actually has a story about her in the book. She hasn't even read it yet, but she was in my other original a chap book, and so I put her in this book. And Hans made the chap book, but he didn't make this book. His heart is in it, so that's what matters. So thank you, family, for supporting me while I've worked on this and ignored you for a little bit. So hopefully you didn't starve to death or anything like that. So, okay. Let's start out with a video I'm going to show. We're going to do this simultaneously. And Jill's going to read a poem called Concussion. It did not go into the book only because she wrote it after the fact, and otherwise I would have included this in the book. So I wanted her to read it for the book launch. So I'm going to pull up the video, and Jill's going to read Concussion. Make sure I got you unmuted. And one second. Again, hit share screen first. Okay, here we go. Anytime you're ready, Jill.
Concussion. I didn't choose to say yes or no when a falling lamp knocked me to my knees without a soul to hear my whispered pleas. Stuffed like a sausage inside a tube, incessant knocking, relentless pain. Good news, no bleeding brain. Concussion. Rest your brain. I'm trying. Rest your brain, sweet child. Stop your fretting. No sense in all that crying. Can you not see me? Can you not hear me? I'm screaming inside. Someone tell me I'm not really dying. Rest your brain. Rest your brain. Can't you see how hard I'm trying?
Thank you, Jill. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much. And that's a wonderful example of taking what's going on in your life and turning it into poetry. Isn't that something? Isn't that what we do? Okay, I'd like to open up the reading. I'd like to start with Pratibha Savani. Pratibha, maybe you could introduce yourself and read some poetry.
Okay, hi everyone. Thank you, Lisa, for organizing this and also including me in your wonderful book. For me, this was quite a recent event for me where my mom was ill. She had end of life. My brother's in the audience, Karuna Mystery, so we both went through these emotions. And when Lisa approached me, or when I saw her advert about the caring anthology, I knew I had to submit because I had such a lot of experience and it was all fresh and very, very raw. I had written things and I wrote a couple of more things for this anthology. So I've written 2 pieces. I'm going to read one of them for this launch. And I hope you can understand the emotions that we went through with my mom in 2021 with her end of life. And it was emotional, intense, and yeah, very tricky road. You just don't know how to deal with everything, but you have to. Okay, so this is called, on page 38, whoever has the book in front of them, And Life Went On. It feels like a lifetime ago, but in fact, it was only months since caring for my mom became a need. We all helped, from my brother, dad, and me. We were there till the end. We didn't know when, but we all knew that day would come. In the meantime, we spent time with her, helped her, supported her needs and her medication, cooked her meals with her dietary requirements. We were figuring it out, how to adjust, to live, and to care for our mom during those summer months when everything felt surreal and life went on. Thank you.
Thank you, Pratibha. That's beautiful. It's beautiful. I think Sarfraz was going to read for us next.
So I'm just going to unmute myself. First and foremost, I just want to say to Lisa, congratulations on your book. I think it's an amazing book. When I got it in the post, obviously I'm in the UK, but when I got it, I was amazed because I'm so used to having books of poetry and just poetry. This is something beyond poetry because I think what you've done is very, very special. Included recipe, artwork. At the back, there's space for you to write your own words. And just to let you know, my sister, who's an artist who does all my book covers, came last night. She grabbed the book, took it with her, and I had to go into the bedroom and look at it under the covers because she'd been reading it all night and making notes and stuff. So she's totally in love with it. So I'm going to encourage people definitely to buy it because I think it's worth buying. Okay, the poem I submitted, I think when anthologies come out, first and foremost, I go into my archives and see what I've written and see if anything fits. But for this, Lisa, I wrote you 3 original pieces, and this one, which I hadn't read for a while, I read again, and it kind of made me think of who I wrote it for, and I wrote it for, very similar to Pratibha, I wrote it for my mom. It was now it's actually 4 years ago, who was end of life as well. And it's actually a situation. It's the last time I actually I got to see her was when she leaned on me, and I took her from one part of the room to another, and it was the last time I saw her, and she looked at me, and we kind of looked at each other. Okay, so my poem is called Lean on Me. I wish I was strong enough to heal the pain inflicted again and again. Release the tubes that connect the brain, the oxygen cylinder that makes your lungs flare up and let go. I wish I could carry you to wherever you need to go. So hold on to me, I'll carry the weight upon my shoulder, upon my spine. Put your body next to mine, lean on me, and I will wrap my wings around you. I'll carry the weight upon my shoulder, the way a mother holds her young. Lean on me, and I promise to be strong. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Francis. Beautiful poem. Beautiful. Straight from the heart. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gee, that I'm really impressed that your sister took to the book so well. It's like, oh,
She
big compliment.
she absolutely loves it because it was I said to her, I've got a poem in a book, and she goes, oh, another one. I said, no, but this book is unlike any other that I've seen. Have a look at it and look at the artwork at the back. And I never saw the book again, and I had to search for it for this book launch. So it is amazing. I'm going to read, and I urge everyone that is in this book launch today, please promote the book, because I'm not just saying that because obviously, of course, my poem is in there. It's actually beyond a poetry book, and I think that's what needs to come out of it, because it's actually not just poetry, it's essays, and it's from the heart, and we are all writing from the heart. So thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much, and thank you for including me today.
Thank you, Sir Francis. Thank you. I think Rich was going to read something. Rich Fireman. And Rich has got a book coming out we've been working on together, and hopefully we'll be doing a launch for him in December very soon. So, Rich, you want to join us? You're on mute.
Oh, okay. I think can you hear me?
Yes, you're great.
Okay. Lisa, how many poems would you like me to read? There are 5 of mine in the book. I don't want all those.
Let's start with one, and then we'll come back around and offer
Okay.
opportunities for people to read some more.
Okay. So these poems relate to when I was caring for my mother, who had Alzheimer's the last 5 years of her life. She passed in 2001. And I actually have written about over 40 poems related to it, and some of them are in my book that's coming out, and 5 of them are in Caring for Souls. This one is actually a new. Well, let me start with one that relates to my mom. This one, other one. Space. Okay. The space in the air is there. The trees cycle into fall in blazing red. My mother is all gray. At the nursing home, her TV shows black and white, like when I was a child, like she is now. The world she sees is framed in static. When I move away from her chair, she forgets I am there. Just beyond her periphery, the world awaits. I tell her my wife couldn't make it today. I don't know when she can, but tell her she will visit tomorrow. She nods. After all, it is always tomorrow.
Thank
Here's
you.
another one. Shall I do another one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. It's called When You Look Too Close, It All Blurs. She does not know why she does not know, why she calls her nurse by her mother's name, why she no longer hates her mother now that she needs one again. Now I am her mother, now she's a child, her dreams of me gone to forever, gone like her mind to a place more unsettled, where age, death, and terror are on the other side. She is turning into her dream. We rented her first video, Apollo 13. I am reading Lost Moon and Einstein's Dreams. My coffee mug is from Cape Canaveral and has a rocket on it with my name. I remember as a child wanting to be a scientist before I knew what it was all about, before I knew my limits. I remember wanting to go to space before I knew what was out there, what wasn't. Now I limit my space travel to books, watch the heroes on the screen. My new father's son, who works for NASA, told me there's no more CT project, no more money for probes of the planets, no more tries to see if God's out there. When I went back that night, I saw searchlights beaming as though searching for lost stars in the sky. When I got the call, I was wearing a t-shirt of Pink Floyd, picture of a face screaming, dating back to their days with Syd Barrett now in and out of asylums, back to the days of Adam Hart Mother. I still remember seeing their concert on the Isle of Wight, the 70s summer, under an open star-strewn sky, giant gong and choir, and in the end, blue and gold rockets crisscrossing the night, saying goodbye to Earth and hello to forever. Waiting till the summer to bury the dog, waiting till the madness to take care of my mother. Life is a series of uneven parallels, inexact geometries from which we try to learn, trying to write while mowing the lawn. Motion breaks up what I try to put down, letters as scrambled as my mother's mind. When I try to dictate into the recorder, the noise of the machine drowns out the message. Everywhere there are obstacles, hurdles, and changes. Everywhere glaciers in the midst of the sea. Spring is the appearance of the sun in the air, making us forget about the poison ivy. I dreamt I was standing on a dock, waving my mother's mind goodbye, fading into the horizon, where she doesn't know who she is, where there is no I, like the ocean blending into the sky.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Jean Marie, can I get you to read one?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let me get, well, this is the one that's in the book. I can read that one. I will just say, by the way, I'm Jean Marie Oliveri, and part of Living Poetry, and Lisa is our one of our co-organizers of the group, and she's perhaps, other than our main organizer who's here today, who shall remain nameless unless he wants to be named, but Lisa's probably the hardest working member of Living Poetry, and we all appreciate it. Okay, and I wrote this. I should really stop smack talking, because clearly whenever I write something like this, it turns true, and I just got to stop that. But anyway, okay. This is about me and my mother, who has Alzheimer's. Okay. And she was home when I wrote this, but now she's in a facility because I can sort of reach the point where I can't take care of her. Which is what I was, okay. I thought for a minute I'd hung up on myself. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking. This is called Care, Give, and Take. When I take my mother to the doctor, it is hard to know which of us is the patient. She on a walker, me on canes. We jostle, joke, bicker. Alzheimer's meant selling her cozy home and buying a house with room for me. We've had our difficulties, and we still push and pull. She says, I can live on my own just fine. And I say, okay, or just wait it out. She says, don't leave me. I say, I'm not going anywhere. She says, I'm not going to one of those places. I clench to stifle a response, because someday she will go, my body unable to manage hers. That day is coming soon enough. The caretaker needs a caregiver. Mom loses words and comprehension. I lose my patience and temper. She is the wood rotting. I am the wood being whittled. All that's left will be sawdust and shavings.
Beautiful, beautiful poem, Jo Marie. It had to be hard considering too what has happened. I had that happen with my father, so certainly understand that, how that goes. Beautiful though. Thank you. I think Lauren, are you still with us here? Would you like to read? Here she is. I think you're on mute. Yeah.
Mhm.
There we go.
Okay, I'm just. Sorry, I'm just trying to find it. Sorry.
That's okay. Technology has a mind of its own.
I'm having trouble finding it.
Maybe you could screen share from the book
Yeah.
if
See,
you
I
put the
can
book
maybe
up in
pull
the
it up.
window.
I might be able to pull it up.
I mean, I'm unprepared because I didn't know if I'd be reading or not today. And I apologize.
That's okay. I'm actually trying to pull it up for you from my
I just
end.
found it.
You found it? Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Perfect.
This is kind of raw at this point because as I was telling some people earlier, that my father died last week. And so this is kind of raw at this point. It's called Glitchy Kidneys and Other Off-Kilter Stuff. Nothing's working right. My father's kidneys empty in the wrong direction. A kidney fail. His organs floating. His brain barely bobbing. Dementia. Can't you understand? He's not crazy. He's just underwater. Every thought is a message in a bottle. Garbage in, garbage out. Limp word salad at a dessert buffet. I don't want it. Give me mint chocolate chip ice cream any day. Scoop it, drop it. Make that 3, melting into a minty mess. Pie crumbling, cake flaking. Everything's falling apart on the plate, on a table set for an asylum. The fork in repose where the spoon should be. Nothing fits. The tablecloth is split at the seams. Peekaboo food staring back at you through a precipitous tear, hanging into the space below your knees onto the floor. No rugs, rectangular, round, or oval, just humdrum linoleum, slippery and dumb, shoes skidding on chocolate sauce. I bopped my head on the crack that broke my mother's back. My brain fizzles like fizzy pop, spritzing nonsense. I can't find a distant point. Every time I move forward, I leave something behind. A younger self with a father who doesn't have to pray before he pees. I should feel happy. He's live at 95 and yet I take things for granted. My parents are still parenting. My 91-year-old mother barely caring for her 95-year-old spouse. They have each other. Too many people have nothing, and I have an abundance of stuff. Emotional material, stuff I don't think about, clothes and shoes. Too much stuff I have to give up. Old clothes and shoes I donate to Goodwill for people who don't have enough. People who don't take things for granted as I do. I don't know what it's like not to have anything. I'm spoiled and live in a country with far too much. We have too many things that many people don't have. All of it we take for granted, like shoes and kidneys. Peeing is a privilege. Now take your goddamn shoes off the table.
Thank you, Lauren. Heart goes out to you.
Thank you.
That's that poem. Lauren had posted that in the Garden Neuro, just kind of as a share, here's something that I wrote. And I approached Lauren. I says, I'd really like to put that in the book. I said, that is more than just a poem that I wrote that I want to share. That is a poem that people need to hear. And so that's how it came about being in the book. She's like accepted it and worked on it with her group, and there it is. So I think
Thank you so much for the privilege.
Thank you. I did want to congratulate too Jim Marie, because her poem has actually been submitted for nomination for the Pushcart Prize. So congratulations to Jim Marie. As we all know, to be nominated for the Pushcart is almost as good as winning the Pushcart, because it's a very limited number that actually win. So I consider it a win to get nominated. So, and speaking of which, I'll read the one of mine that was nominated to the Pushcart Prize, and it's called Silence. And I give Living Poetry credit, particularly Bart and Jim Marie, because they were in the critique group where this poem started to come to life. It's called Silence. The morphine drip is shielded, hidden from plain sight, tucked away in her nest, snuggled under fresh covers. No pain, no worries. Just solemn slumber. Taking a cue from her, I push my recliner close to her bed. I press my body close to her side. Taking her hand, I close my eyes and enjoy peaceful slumber. This is the supreme closeness we need. Hers to know she's not alone. Assurance as she grasps my hand snugly, as much as I grasp hers. And rest we must, her for relief of pain, me for energy restoration, and we sleep. And that was published in The Sound of Brilliance in the Short of It, Volume 1. Thank you. I have a video share. Cheryl Jackson, she was felt so bad because she couldn't be here today. And so we got to talking and decided to create a videos. So she created 3 videos, and I'm going to share all 3, but she did the audio and I did the video. Good teamwork, huh?
Is called Healing Hands. This is for the Prolific Pulse Caring for Souls anthology. I discovered healing hands in those of my capable parents, leaning in to linger a little longer in maternal hands that provided the right amount of comfort. Bruised knees and other childhood injuries required the know-how of paternal healing hands. No one sang like Dad as he bandaged cuts and scrapes, never acknowledging your klutz or clumsy, smiling as he said, "It's all better now, sugar pudding. Looking great." Skateboard accidents and bicycles that coasted too fast, steeply downhill. Skinny brown legs with knobby knees now bear tattooed scars of chasing you thrills. Life brings about swift and cataclysmic changes. I pray for God's mercy as He places my father in my middle-aged, unsure, and feeble hands. I bring him warm blankets and read to him at bedside with hot and tasty beverages. God, please give me strength to care for Dad the way he cared for me. Please give me loving and healing hands to be the best caregiver that my father needs.
Thank you. And I will get to the next one. Okay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Cheryl J. Jackson, and I am one of the contributing writers in the Prolific Post Caring for Souls anthology. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be there on Saturday, but I thought maybe I could still be part of it by pre-recording one of the poems that I wrote for the anthology. I was actually my father's caregiver, and I would read poems to him at bedside. So I'm going to read one of the poems that appears in the anthology for you. This poem is called Unwinding Hands of Time. Time for the caregiver takes on a different sequence. Time to prepare meals, time to administer medications, time to assist with baths and showers. The constant clicking of the clock, turning long days into sleepless hours. Time to schedule doctor's visits and appointments. Time to rub in lotions and medicated ointments. If only we could unwind and set back the hands of time before sickness and unkind days can make us change our minds. If only we could go back in time before illness changed all of our lives. Time to cry in secret, time to worry, time to pray, time to forgive those who wronged us before we face Judgment Day. Time for the caregiver takes on a different sequence. No time for rest, the caregiver's weary consequence. If only we could go back in time, turn back the hands of time, long before illness changed all of our lives. Unwinding Hands of Time. Have a great book launch. Thank you. We're going to keep it going. We're going to go right on over to poem number 2. And this one is called Longing to Sing Like Sarah Vaughan. I couldn't bridge our gaps or right our wrongs. I didn't have a Whitney Houston voice to sing you love songs. In your time of need, to care for you as best I could, I didn't remember all the pain you caused in life. I remembered your good. I wished you never became sick. I wished you were never ill. Stage 4 prostate cancer that spread to the bones. My God, sobering still. If only our days were longer. Why couldn't we just try a little harder? Now our tomorrows with you are lost, living on past memories of you, the rest of our forever. Chilling, lasting thoughts of you as you departed life. Did you remember Tony or Mommy, the woman you called wife? I wished I could have bridged our gaps and righted all our wrongs. Why didn't God give me a voice to sing my dying father, Sarah Vaughan jazz and blues songs?
And she did a beautiful job. Okay. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to share in the line of poetry or questions, or comments, or anything?
Yeah, would I be able to read my second poem? Is that
Yes,
okay?
sure.
Okay. I just thought it'd be nice. Mine's are short anyway. Okay, so this one is called Well Covered. After hearing a lot of people's poems today, I kind of it really gives me an idea of what other people have gone through as well. And it really sums up how our emotions are tied up in such a unique way with this anthology. So I'm going to read this called Well Covered, and I hopefully that kind of resonates with you as well from what I've read and what I've heard from you today. Right, Well Covered. No one can prepare you for looking after a loved one. The intensity, the emotions, the juggling, the time, all mashed up inside while you try and survive, especially for end of life, when you can't just sit and hide, but to be there in every way. Sleepless nights, not eating right, it can take a toll for everyone. As you battle it out with your emotions, preparing for what may come next, ringing doctors, end of life care, ensuring the care package is in place, ensuring your loved one is safe, ensuring you have covered it all in order to get the help, however big or small. Thank you.
Thank you, Pratibha. Pratibha is quite the artist, and she's been working on the artwork for the Gardner Neuro Anthology too. She's the art director for that, and has everybody's contributing different pieces of art, and then she's going through and editing and providing some of her own talent to it as well. So I'm just always happy when I get to work with Pratibha. So
Yeah, and likewise, Lisa, I'm happy to work with you too.
thank
And
you.
thank you for mentioning that for me.
Yeah, we'll have to do one together, a book together.
Yeah, yes, we will.
That'd be fun.
Yes, yes, we will. I'm actually doing working on a book with my brother, all the emotions of what had happened to my mom. We have
Oh,
combined our poems together and we are doing our manuscript. So we had already
wonderful.
we had already started writing about what Lisa's done with this care anthology. We started doing something, but it's a little bit different. But it's completely on the same path, but I'm doing it with my brother with our experience, our journey. But it's so
Wonderful.
wonderful to contribute to this one as well.
Thank you. Well, when it's time to launch it, I'll be glad to do that for you.
Thank you, Lisa.
I think Rich wanted to do another poem.
Yes, to do one that this one doesn't relate specifically to my mother, but I think it touches on the general theme of the Caring for Souls book, and I hope everyone will be able to relate to it. It's called Hippocrates Resurrected. We should all be doctors in spirit. We do not have to practice the medical arts, fix broken bones, heal the sick and dying. No. But the first rule always is to do no harm. When we act, when we even speak, when we even look into another's eyes, it should be not only without malice, but with compassion. There is another you, or I, or they. There is someone who has lived and felt pain as well as joy, someone who has struggled through the web of life, not knowing where and when the spider will strike. It may be in the corner, but it is there. It may not be there, but the fear of it is under the covers always. A gentle voice, a gentler look can go a long way to calm the overbeating heart. A gentle touch can fill the blood with music.
Thank you. Now, Rich, you sent that poem to
you.
me after the book was decided on, and then I said, "Can we add this to the book?"
Yes,
'Cause
I believe you did.
yeah, I thought it was definitely one to add because I really think it speaks well to what it is like to be in the whole caring spectrum. So, wonderful poem.
It's all about empathy, right?
Yeah.
Mm,
I'm going to
Thank
share a
you.
video. Thank you. I'm going to share a video from Jill, who produced this. I actually asked her if I could put the double shift poem in this book as an opening. It was published in her book, You Are the Poem, but I wanted it in this one. I'm going to go ahead and play that. There we go.
Double Shift, a poem by Jill Sharon Kimmelman. This poem was written for nurses everywhere, everywhere, every day. They are in the front lines of this battle that the world calls Corona. They are our masked, dedicated, unrecognized heroes. This poem, Double Shift, was written while I was a patient in the hospital and dedicated to my extraordinary team of nurses. Double shift. Another crazy, chaotic workday looms. 24 hours. Can you do it? Perhaps. You must turn a deaf ear to the noisy chatter of concerns threatening to topple every textbook, fence post, memorized statistic inside your already bleary mind. It's not a day for dreaming dreams and sipping coffee slowly. It's a day for getting through, under, over, and out the door. Minute by minute, hour after hour, they call out your name, clinging in corners, patients with fears, so many lost souls, riddled with grief, their red-rimmed eyes swimming with tears. Anxious patients wait, not always patiently, pressing, repressing, pounding their buttons. You cannot ignore those incessant bells. Needy people needing you, each one demanding something different, a break, a meal, a hug, change for the bus. Chatter turns to shouting, demands soar, lines swell, fighting against their dying, headed for heaven. They're scared. You are too. Face it, some days are just plain hell. They need you to take them outside their pain, miles away from their confusion. 13 hours to go. Welcome back, hero, to the frenzy, to the chaos, to the tiny spark of someone's hope. Do they say the words aloud? Or is it enough just to see thanks in their smile, on a face that hasn't smiled in perhaps a dozen years? So many sounds too many sounds. By day's end, you are ready, more than ready, for silence. When it comes, it is too quiet. You lay restless, engulfed in dark stillness. Sleep has become your unanswered prayer. You realize then it hits you hard. You haven't heard that cherished voice all day. When at last you make the call, she is half asleep. Her words are soft. You clutch them to you as a prize. Finally, now you can close your eyes. You helped a few souls, fought the good fight. Another workday fades to black as she enters your dreams, beautiful in resplendent light.
Oh, thank you all so much for coming out today. Is there anyone who would like to share anything else before we come to a close?
Lisa, I just wanted to well, of course, congratulations. The book. I just want to ask a little bit about the artwork
Yes.
and about your artist for the cover and the beautiful pieces of art that are actually in the book itself. How did you decide or make a decision to put art in the book as well as just having it in the cover? Because that's quite and actually it's art that you can color in, I think, as well.
Right. Well, my niece, Kay Payne, is my cover artist. Whenever I need art for the cover, I call on her. She gets me. We go back and forth through, well, she was on Facebook. Now we go back and forth through text. But I say, this is what I'm thinking about. And then sometimes I know something, but I won't tell her everything. And then she'll come back with what I was thinking about. And it's like we're in sync with one another. So she, we just work out this kind of a deal, so to speak. I actually haven't seen her face to face in 5 years, but it's just that we connected. And so she just gets me. And then in the Garden of Neuro, we created the anthology last year and decided to include art and have the women that contributed to that, they contributed poetry and art under the theme of a safe and brave space. And so Radipa was involved in that one as well. And actually, we did art classes for that as we did again this year. But to show people that anyone can do art, and people were even surprised themselves at what they produced. But anyway, we thought, well, why not? Why can't you include something that's as soothing as coloring, as it's a therapeutic thing in a book of poetry? To me, just all goes together. And then with Caring for Souls, it's kind of like I had to put it in there because one of the portions of Caring for Souls is activities to help people in dealing with things. And so, like, if you're a caregiver, and you're sitting for sometimes hours at a time and you need something to do. And so we have the journal in there. You can put your thoughts down, have activity, and we have the artwork where you can color things in or do whatever, or say you have a grandchild or something like that, or a child around that could even have them color a page. But it just kind of all came together. And I just asked her for 12 drawings, and I said, try to keep them on the upbeat side, the happy side. And so I think she did real well.
Really well. No, thank you. I had the idea as well for this book because I just think I could see this book in a bookshop, in hospitals, in hospices, in any places where a person might be sort of in recovery or as a patient. And I can see the book on the bookshelf there that people could actually purchase it. I just think it's an amazing, amazing book. And I think for those of you that unfortunately haven't got your copy yet, it is worth the wait because, as I said, Lisa, I think you've gone beyond the concept of what poetry is, and this is an all-encompassing book because it's also got recipes in there as well, which I was.
This came about by a surprise to myself.
They were great. They are great. They are, they're fantastic.
Family recipes.
Yeah. So the book itself is not just poetry. It actually covers a huge medium of the creative arts in its whole. So no, congratulations. Thanks for sharing your beautiful book with us as well. I think I have seen the post online. I think it doesn't do justice to what it is because there is more beyond that, but I think that's the exciting bit when you get a book. But this is I actually thought this was just going to be a poetry book. I'm so used to having poetry books, but like I said, you can hear my enthusiasm that it is actually something beyond that. The artwork is impeccable. It is absolutely beautiful. And I did not know Kay was your niece, so I love that little story there and so on. Can I just ask, what's next in the pipeline for Lisa? Any plans for a new book, or are you working in collaboration with anyone?
Actually, the next book that I'll be putting out, it's kind of an anthology. It is basically Heart's Desire. It's writing. I had people write letters and send them in the postal mail, and send me art, and it's going to into a collection next year whenever I can grab the time between some of the other commitments that I have for clients. But it's called Dear Heart, and it has to do with what is your heart's desire. And the stuff that I receive for that has just blown me away. It's just beautiful, beautiful work. Richard, you're right about the recipes. All of the recipes that I included in Caring for Souls are the recipes for the foods that brought me the most comfort in growing up over the years. It's definitely comfort food. It's definitely a practice in our family and continues to be one in my own household. And I don't see anything wrong with that. And absolutely. Especially
Lisa, I'm really, really looking forward to the Heart's Desire book as well, because I can't wait to see what other people have done. It's just such a personal book. Like, this one is so unique in its way, and I don't know how you've come up with some of these themes, but I just wanted to highlight that I did not know about your sister and what you went through. So, doing this personal book for you and then also including us to be involved. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you all for contributing. I think it really just added more to the book. Did not take anything away, but actually added a whole lot more. So I love that. Jill, you got your hand up?
I do, just like in school. I wanted to say thank you very much for including me. I did not submit anything because I did not think I had anything, and that was appropriate or worth. And when Lisa came to me and asked me if she could use concussion, I was already 3 days in the hospital, and it wouldn't have mattered if I said yes or no. Lisa and I think in sync by now. We have this amazing friendship and sisterhood. And so for her to come to me and say that, she was going to do what she was going to do anyway. So, and I have no memory at all of those beginning days dealing with post-concussion syndrome. So I just want to say that I'm very humbled to be a part of today. Everyone who is here, plus Cheryl, the work is outstanding. And Lauren, I want to tell you that I'm not going to tell you it gets easier, because it doesn't. But I lost my dad 43 years ago, and every moment of my life, my soul is stirred by memories of my dad. And I pray that that will be the same for you. Okay. Thank you, Lisa, for letting me say that.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming out today. Really appreciate it. I wish you all the best of the rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you all.
much.
Great reading, everybody. Good
Thank
job.
you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Good
Take care,
luck.
Thank you.
everyone.
Everybody promote the book, please. Let's sell the
Yes,
book.
please promote the
I
book.
will.
Thank
Promote
you.
the book. All right, guys.
As soon as I
Bye.
get my copy. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.